Okay, we are only in episode 3. We have already seen two situations where these men don't respect boundaries at all. So, my question is, are they your wives or your property? Hey, what's up and hello? This is D. Chris Nicole giving you my views on life, love, and the world of entertainment through my eyes. And this is my review on Belle Collective, Season 3, Episode 3, Lying and Spying. Look, y'all, we are only 3 episodes in, and there have been several scenes already where I'm like super uncomfortable. And I am hoping a lot of this is for a story, a plot, and this is not like real life on what these ladies are going through. Whew, but we shall see. So we start off with Latrice talking to So Gucci about the real estate deal. And, So Gucci expresses how she felt about the situation. And Latrice, in her confessional, says that she sees So Gucci as a friend. Well, if you see her as a friend, Latrice, at least you could have told her that you were moving on even through a text message if you felt that uncomfortable, but just be honest with her. Like, I don't understand when you mix friends and business, you have to have, I mean, even in business and period, you need to have good communication, but especially when you're dealing with a friend, just be honest with that friend. And hopefully they'll respect you in the end, but I can't respect how you did So Gucci based on what she's saying and by you saying that you are her friend. Like, I don't know. Like, I agree with So Gucci in this situation. You could have handled this much better. So Josh, messy ass, talks to Akeisha and tells her too much information about his so-called friend and business. Well, I don't know if they're business partners, but his friend and boss, Latrice. He tells Akeisha too much information about Latrice and her situation with Cliff. And one thing I will say is that Akeisha tells him, like, you got to stay out of their business, which we have all said that. And then at the same time, you know, you're not going to win in a situation between a wife and a husband. She's always going to choose her husband. So you're playing messy right now, and you playing a very dangerous game when it comes to your career or your job. And that's another thing that Akeisha tells him, have a backup plan because he may need it after this. Yeah, he may need it. So Latrice goes to see Letitia about public speaking, but then they get to talk about, child, they talk about their husbands. Whew, and Letitia says she is afraid that Glenn will not allow her to move on in half peace. And they talk about how, their men can't tolerate modern women because it wasn't taught to them. And I agree, but it's not, of course, for every man. But in reality, being a modern woman doesn't just intimidate men, it intimidates women as well, fellow women as well. So it's one of those things where being a modern successful woman, it comes with its blessings and its curses. And but at the same time, this situation with Glenn and Cliff, their husbands, is, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable. You guys drop your comments below on this situation. It does seem like it's a lot of control. It's a lot of control, and they almost both feel like they can't escape it. It's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. But Letitia talks about Tambra also and says that Tambra likes to lie and try to make it seem like Letitia maybe misunderstood what Tambra was saying. And Letitia's like, look, don't play me for no damn fool. And I agree. Like, I can't stand when people try to play people like they're stupid, especially when there's receipts. You know what the hell you said. Like, just Tambra, own up to it. And then the next scene, we see Tambra. meeting with Marie, and Marie talks about to her about her lying ass. Like, she talks to her about it. And Tambra's like, I've never been called a liar. I've never been called a liar by any of my friends throughout the years. Never been called one. Just because you haven't been called out about your lies doesn't mean that they feel like you don't lie. Some of them may feel you do lie. It's just that they don't feel it's worth confronting you about it. Like, I'm a firm believer, like, when people show you who they are, believe them. And typically you can't change that person. So you might as well just place them in certain categories in your life. You either accept who they are and create boundaries where you know that probably the stuff that's gonna come out of Tambra's mouth is full of shit. Or you leave her alone. Some people don't want to deal with a friend or a person who's constantly lying. So to protect their energy, they just rather not deal with that person. You just gotta pick. But at the end of the day, I don't know where her delusion is coming from, especially when receipts have been pulled. I don't get it. So Marie actually claims that Tambra's ex sent her information, I guess implying that Tambra was actually engaged at one point, because Tambra keeps saying that she was never engaged, like she was proposed to, but she didn't accept the engagement. And then I think Marie implied that Tambra and Damon aren't really in a relationship. I think she implied that. Y'all let me know in the comments. So maybe, in other words, Tambra is using Damon as a storyline. But honestly, Tambra, it's not working. Like, we don't care about that storyline. It's actually kind of boring. When you guys are on the screen, I want to fast forward most of the time. So Akeisha and Latrice meet up with the kids, and Latrice looks so uncomfortable even holding one of her grandkids, child. I mean, I know it comes with practice, but I was just like, is Latrice really ready, to be a mother? And Latrice talks to Akeisha about that. And Akeisha tells her it's never the right time or perfect time to have a baby. And I get what she's saying, because like she said, you always want to grow, you always want more. But honey, I think in Latrice's situation, there is a right time, a right place, and maybe even the right person to have a baby with. What we have seen so far, I don't know if this is the right time for her to have a child. Like, that's just my opinion. Like, in her situation, she may need to figure out if this is the right time to have one. But you guys let me know in the comments below what you think about that. So Akeisha, of course, is being reality show messy and brings back the conversation she had with Josh. And of course, Latrice is upset, which I understand. And she mentions that she needs to set boundaries with Josh as well. So Latrice is someone who has no boundaries. And here's the thing. Even in my personal life, I can be very diplomatic. And because of that, sometimes I feel that people will take my kindness for weakness because of the fact that, I'm trying to keep the peace, trying to make sure that everyone feels comfortable. But here's the thing. Once someone does something to you where it seems like they cross boundaries the first time, you need to check it the first time, especially when it comes to a significant other or a friend. You need to make sure that you check that situation ASAP. Don't wait until the third, fourth, or fifth time. Check it ASAP, especially when you have to deal with them on a consistent basis. Or if you don't have to deal with them on a consistent basis, maybe it's one of those things where you just keep your distance from that person and protect your energy. But you have to set boundaries immediately. I don't know how long her and Josh have been friends. I don't know how long her and Cliff have been married. But at this point, I'm going to say it's been at least a couple of years. Now you want to set boundaries? I don't know. I don't know about that. But I have noticed that with Latrice, she does have an issue, of course, with setting boundaries, and she doesn't know how to communicate well. She really doesn't. It comes off that she's uncomfortable when she has certain conversations, because even with that conversation with So Gucci, if you looked at her face, she really did look like she was uncomfortable having that conversation. So, you know, she's young. I don't know how old she is. I want to say she's in her 20s still. So there's a couple things that she needs to work on. But yeah, she definitely needs to check setting boundaries immediately. Otherwise, people aren't going to respect the boundaries if you allowed them to disrespect you so many times before. Why should they respect the boundaries now? So Tambra meets with Damon, and to me, this is a filler scene. So next, Letitia is signing her lease, and Marie actually allows Letitia to use her name on the lease so Glenn doesn't have rights to anything. And I love that. Like, because I'm that type of person. When I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I am a ride or die friend. And Marie really showed up and showed out being a ride or die friend to Letitia to protect her. And I absolutely love that. Like, it's a true, genuine example of being my sister's keeper. So Letitia talks to So Gucci about the Latrice situation, and I love the fact that So Gucci took accountability and said she definitely just messed up by not doing a non-compete agreement. And sometimes even in situations, even if that person is moving super, super foul, you can still, of course, take accountability and own up to how you could have made things better in the situation. So I love that about So Gucci. And so Marie pretty much implies that Latrice has been using Soguchi for multiple properties before. That's, I guess, what Latrice says. So why all of a sudden now are you moving this way after Soguchi has clearly given you good deals and good properties before? Unless, like Marie said, Latrice was lying about that. So I guess we're going to find out if that's actually true or not. Has Soguchi closed deals for her before, or did Latrice lie about that? We shall see. But then, but then, Glenn's ass comes into the condo like he's Mike Myers. Okay? Like coming in like it's a straight horror movie. Like a scene where he's about to start slashing folks. I was like, what in the hell? Like, even when I saw it, I was like, what the hell is going on here? And so Marie run, Letitia run, so Gucci runs. And in the process of Glenn going off, he actually says, I'm tracking her. Excuse me? You're tracking her? And so Marie's like, why are you stalking her? And Glenn's like, she's my wife. I ain't stalking her. Sir, you can still be stalking your spouse. And this is what I said earlier. Are they your wives or your property? Because at this point, it feels like because you are married to her, you can do whatever the hell you want to do. You can track her, you can follow her, you can just randomly bust into a conversation. It was team too much, team uncomfortable. Oh my gosh, it just really like, and Marie, of course, being a ride or die friend, and you know how sometimes you have that ride or die friend that also needs to know when to back up. Marie's like, what you doing here? Why you stalking her? Going in on her, right? And then Glenn decides to say, you need to worry about your exes and the married man you got. Now, look, Glenn, I don't understand what that has to do with you being a Mike Myers and pulling up on people that didn't invite you. Because clearly you weren't even supposed to know where the condo was. Now, I don't know if that was a production thing or you was actually tracking her. But Marie could pretty much still say that you stalking her and you need to leave her alone. That has nothing to do with her exes or her married man or whatever the case may be. But I'm wondering if what he said was some pillow talk that leaked that he has had conversations with Letitia about, or was this based off of the last seasons as far as her drama is concerned with her ex? I wonder, because I was like, the fact that he said that, I was like, you know how sometimes, people will put stuff out there that they talk to their spouse about that was supposed to stay in the room while they was pillow talking. I'm low-key curious about what he said and if that was something that he was running his mouth about a little bit too much, which is why Letitia was like, stop, stop, stop. Like, please, like, leave this alone. And so with that, Marie was making it worse because she was going in. And so Letitia goes out, talks to Glenn. It's just a very uncomfortable scene. And then we get Letitia coming back in saying that she is afraid of Glenn and what he will do if Letitia leaves with Josh. And due to that, she's like, I can't take this condo anymore. Because at this point, he knows where the condo is. She doesn't feel safe. And she was like, double your commission or whatever the case may be, so Gucci, but I'm sorry, I can't do it. You guys, this episode, just like the first episode, I am just shocked. Like, this is making me so uncomfortable. I don't know what to think of this. I'm hoping that it's a storyline. I really do. But if it's not, like, we're going to have to talk about this. Like, just because your wife is your wife doesn't mean that you own her. And that's what I'm feeling from these guys. Is it just me? Like, I feel like they feel you are my wife, therefore I need to know your whereabouts at all time. And to a certain extent, yes, proper communication is cool. But when you guys are going through it, like Letitia and Glenn, if she feels like she needs to move to get her peace, it's a lease. So it's not permanent, but maybe she needs to have her space for a minute. And you coming in like, now you my wife, I'm tracking you. Like, what the hell you doing to me? I was uncomfortable. But what is your take on this episode? What do you guys feel? I feel like, ooh, I don't know. I don't know how this looks. I don't know how this looks. But like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you on my next video. Toodles.